That was nice, but it was really expensive.
Yeah.
And
What island in Hawaii?
Maui in
Maui.
Lahaina. Yeah.
How long were you there for?
I was there for a couple years.
Yeah.
I
Did
loved it.
you
Yeah.
no island sickness from you?
Oh yeah, I got island fever. Like I was once you get there and you kind of get over the like novelty of it, I guess, it's you're like, gosh, if I want to go anywhere, it's gonna be like $600 and a 6-hour plane ride just to get back to like California. So it's kind of you get like bored with
Yeah. What
everything.
were you doing in Hawaii for so long?
I just wanted to go. I had had a friend who lived out there who said, come on out. And I was just ready for like a new adventure. And I went out there and I began working for a doctor and his wife as an EMT. And I just loved it. Like he was a really cool doctor and he taught me a lot of stuff. And his wife was really cool. I still talk to his wife today, but they live in like Vegas now, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a cool experience. It was fun. And then I made friends out there. Like one of my really good friends, my Lonnie, she's still out there. She was native, like born there, but she's really cool.
Did you surf? Did you hike all the mountains? Go check out volcanoes? Did you do
Yeah.
everything that you normally do?
Yeah. I didn't surf because I'm a baby and I'm really scared of like water where you can't see anything. And so I didn't surf, but we definitely went. She took me to like a lot of cool local spots and volcanoes, and we did the road to Hana. So her aunt lives out there, and so
What's the road to Hana?
it's like I think we counted. It's like 32 one-lane bridges,
Hmm.
and they're like some of the bridges are like okay, and then some are like kind of sketchy. You're like, can my car go on that? But it was a lot of fun. But they make shirts. Like I survived the road to Hana, but it was fun. It was gorgeous. It's like I think where they filmed like one of the Jurassic Park movies was in
Really?
that area.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
pretty sure. I could be wrong, but yeah, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous.
What do you miss about Hawaii now that you're here in the United States in California?
Oh gosh, everything like the food, the beach, the people. I miss like the friends. It's funny because when I went to Hawaii, you see a lot of the like Keep Tahoe Blue stickers there, and you're like, okay, like this is where all the Tahoe transplants go because it's essentially the same thing. It's a very tourist driven town, but on an island. Tahoe's like on a mountain. So, but yeah, it was I just miss like being out there and it was cool. It was really cool to be out there and everyone wanted to come visit me. Which,
And did people come visit you being in
hmm
such a nice area?
Yeah, one of my brothers was in the army at the time. He came and spent Christmas with me for a couple weeks, and he
Hmm.
didn't, I'm his annoying little sister. He wouldn't
Oh.
come see me otherwise, but he did come see me out there. That was fun. And, but yeah, I think that was the only person who actually came out and like stayed with me. But everyone always wants to go to
Did you have any near-death experiences in
have I?
Hawaii? In Hawaii,
Oh
you
my
know how
gosh.
there's
Yeah.
hiking. I don't know if you're a hiker because I know Tahoe. There's a lot of hiking
Yeah.
spots, mountain biking.
Near death experiences in Hawaii. I'm trying to think. I mean, nothing major
No.
that I can remember. I know there's a thing called they call it the blowhole,
Hmm.
and it's where the ocean comes in and it like shoots up water out of this rock formation, but you're not supposed to get close to it. And because my Lonnie was like a local, we got probably way too close to it.
Hmm.
But someone actually got sucked in because you can get sucked into those, and he got sucked in and killed, I believe, like a day or two later. And I was
Oh
like, oh,
Jesus! You're like, oh, that.
I didn't know that, like, because I didn't like think about the science of it. I guess, like,
No, but it's a smart move to not risk it. You know how there's adrenaline
yeah,
junkies and people always risk it,
me,
or
yeah,
yeah, that's you.
yeah.
How are you an adrenaline junkie? What are some of the things that
Oh gosh,
get
I've
your
been
adrenaline going?
a lot. I have like driven way too fast on a motorcycle. My mother would kill me if she like knew about that one.
Road bike, mount,
It was
or
the road bike.
yeah.
It was like a Ducati.
Mm-hmm.
But I used to go in San Diego. When I lived in San Diego, I would go skydiving all the time because it's called brownfields out there.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see like all of Tijuana and then San Diego. And it was so fun. and you pay like $200 every time. It was a lot of money, but yeah, I did that a bunch. I did, what else? Jet skis are always fun, but those can get you like really hurt as
Yeah.
well. So
I bet. You're so small. I can imagine. I'm a bigger guy, so I'll weigh down the jet ski. I've been on them, so they don't move as
yeah.
fast with me on them.
Oh,
So.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten like thrown off the back of one of those before, but
Oh.
yeah,
You didn't lose any earrings, necklaces, glasses.
I've lost sunglasses.
Yeah.
And yeah, I lost sunglasses all the time. My Lonnie, it was kind of a joke because like we'd go out and I always came home without fail without sandals, like because that's all you wear and you take them off when you go to people's houses and in Hawaii. But yeah, like I never had my sandals. I always lost them.
When's the best time of year to visit Hawaii? Is it February when it's raining, monsoons and stuff?
I like that time of year. I think the most desirable tourist weather is around like September, October. It's warm. It's like when it's not too, it never gets too hot there, let's be real. But it's like it does actually get quite cold there, like when it's super rainy in the winter, and I'm from Tahoe, so I shouldn't say that, but it there were points when I was like wearing sweatshirts but it was fun. Like I think September is when the big like tourist time is, when kids are out of school, or like spring break is a big time. But yeah, it's nice all year round there.
September, October, that's not hurricane season?
Hurricane season? I don't remember.
No.
I thought it was in the spring, but I'd have to text my Lonnie or look it up.
Because I know a lot of people that would always go to Mexico, and it's like, oh, it's so cheap. I'm like, there's a reason. I'm like, don't go. And
yeah,
because September, October is hurricane season, and I remember like people would tell me, oh, we're here out on the beach, and then all of a sudden there's alarms going off, like run inside your hotel. Yeah. There's a fucking, and it's just like, you know how that is, right? Yeah. It's just a matter of minutes before those storms come in, and they'd be running inside, and I'm like, hell no.
I know. That actually happened one year. An ex-boyfriend and I, we lived in Virginia, and he took me to, gosh, where was it? I think it was like North Carolina. He took me somewhere. We went to a Blake Shelton concert for my birthday, but we're like, oh, no one's swimming on the beach. And we like got in the water, and there's people like, get out of the water, get out of the water. There's sharks, and there was like some big hurricane or something coming in, and the sky was all dark. And I was like, oh, sorry.
And that was in North Carolina?
I think it was in Wilmington.
God, it sounds like you've been almost everywhere, right?
Yeah, I've been a lot.
Has it been planned, or just kind of wherever you land, you're going?
Some of it has been planned. Like the Hawaii thing, I decided like I was going to move to Hawaii 5 days before I got on I like sold my car, packed 2 suitcases, left the rest of my stuff at where I was, and then just got on a plane and left. Shawnalee, Houston.
So, where are you originally from?
I was born and raised in South Lake Tahoe.
Okay.
I have moved all over the country. I've lived in a lot of different places, and eventually settled in Rockland, but like the Sacramento area. So.
How long have you been in Rockland?
I've been in Rockland for 2 years, and right before that, I was in Roseville for a couple years.
Yeah, I know both areas really well.
Yeah. So since I think I moved down here in 2018, but I've lived in Hawaii. That was nice, but it was really expensive.
Yeah.
And
what island in Hawaii?
Maui in Lahaina. Yeah.
How long were you there for?
I was there for a couple years.
Yeah.
I loved it. Yeah.
No island sickness from you?
Oh yeah, I got island fever. Like once you get there and you kind of get over the like novelty of it, I guess it's you're like, gosh, if I want to go anywhere, it's going to be like $600 and a 6-hour plane ride just to get back to like California. So it's kind of, you get like bored with
Yeah.
everything.
What were you doing in Hawaii for so long?
I just wanted to go. I had a friend who lived out there who said, come on out. And I was just ready for like a new adventure. And I went out there and I began working for a doctor and his wife as an EMT. And I just loved it. Like, he was a really cool doctor and he taught me a lot of stuff. And his wife was really cool. I still talk to his wife today, but they live in like Vegas now, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a cool experience. It was fun. And then I made friends out there. Like, one of my really good friends, my Lonnie, she's still out there. She was native, like born there, but she's really cool.
Did you surf? Did you hike all the mountains? Go check out volcanoes? Do
Yeah.
everything that you normally do?
Yeah, I didn't surf because I'm a baby and I'm really scared of like water where you can't see anything. And so I didn't surf, but we definitely went. She took me to like a lot of cool local spots and volcanoes, and we did the road to Hana. So her aunt lives out there, and so
What's the road to Hana?
it's like, I think we counted. It's like 32 one-lane bridges,
Mhm.
and they're like, some of the bridges are like okay, and then some are like kind of sketchy. You're like, can my car go on that? But it was a lot of fun. But they make shirts. Like, I survived the road to Hana, but it was fun. It was gorgeous. It's like I think where they filmed like one of the Jurassic Park movies was
Really?
in that area.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but yeah, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous.
What do you miss about Hawaii now that you're here in the United States in California?
Oh gosh, everything, like the food, the beach, the people. I miss like the friends. It's funny because when I went to Hawaii, you see a lot of the like Keep Tahoe Blue stickers there, and you're like, okay, like this is where all the Tahoe transplants go, because it's essentially the same thing. It's a very tourist-driven town, but on an island. Tahoe's like on a mountain. So, but yeah, it was. I just miss like being out there, and it was cool. It was really cool to be out there, and everyone wanted to come visit me.
And did people come visit you, being in
Mhm.
such a nice area?
Yeah, one of my brothers was in the Army at the time. He came and spent Christmas with me for a couple weeks, and he
Mhm.
didn't, I'm his annoying little sister. He wouldn't
Uh-huh.
come see me otherwise, but he did come see me out there. That was fun. And, but yeah, I think that was the only person who actually came out and like stayed with me. But everyone always wants to go to.
Did you have any near-death experiences in
Have
Hawaii?
I?
In Hawaii,
Oh
you
my
know how
gosh.
there's
Yeah.
hiking. I don't know if you're a hiker, because I know Tahoe, there's a lot of hiking
Yeah.
spots, mountain biking.
Near-death experiences in Hawaii. I'm trying to think. I mean, nothing major
No.
that I can remember. I know there's a thing called, they call it the blowhole,
Mhm.
and it's where the ocean comes in and it like shoots up water out of this rock formation, but you're not supposed to get close to it. And because my Lonnie was like a local, we got probably way too close to it.
Mhm.
But someone actually got sucked in, because you can get sucked into those, and he got sucked in and killed, I believe, like a day or two later. And I was like, oh,
Jesus. You're like, oh, that.
I didn't know that, like, because I didn't like think about the science of it, I guess. Like,
No, but it's a smart move to not risk it. You know how there's adrenaline junkies and people always risk it, or yeah, that's you.
Yeah.
How are you an adrenaline junkie? What are some of the things that
Oh gosh,
get
I've
your
done
adrenaline going?
a lot. I have like driven way too fast on a motorcycle. My mother would kill me if she like knew about that one.
Road bike, mount,
It was
or
the road bike.
yeah.
It was like a Ducati.
Mm-hmm.
But I used to go in San Diego. When I lived in San Diego, I would go skydiving all the time, because it's called brownfields out there.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see like all of Tijuana and then San Diego. And it was so fun. And you pay like $200 every time. It was a lot of money. But yeah, I did that a bunch. I did, what else? Jet skis are always fun. but those can get you like really hurt as
Yeah.
well. So
I bet. I bet. You're so small. I can imagine just. I'm a bigger guy, so
yeah.
I'll weigh down the jet ski. I've been on them, so they don't move as
Yeah.
fast with me on them. So
Oh, really?
yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten like thrown off the back of one of those before, but it's,
Oh,
yeah,
you didn't lose any earrings, necklaces, glasses.
I've
It's
lost sunglasses.
yeah.
And yeah, I lost sunglasses all the time. My Lonnie, it was kind of a joke because like we'd go out and I always came home without fail without sandals, like because that's all you wear and you take them off when you go to people's houses and in Hawaii. But yeah, like I never had my sandals. I always lost them.
When's the best time of year to visit Hawaii? Is it February when it's raining, monsoons and stuff?
I like that time of year. I think the most desirable tourist weather is around like September, October. It's warm. It's like when it's not too, it never gets too hot there, let's be real. But it's like it does actually get quite cold there, like when it's super rainy in the winter, and I'm from Tahoe, so I shouldn't say that, but it there were points when I was like wearing sweatshirts and but it was fun. Like I think September is when the big like tourist time is when kids are out of school or like spring break is a big time. Um, but yeah, it's nice all year round there.
September, October. That's not hurricane season.
Hurricane season, I don't remember.
No.
I
Oh,
thought it was in the spring, but I'd have to text my Lonnie or look it up.
because I know a lot of people that would always go to Mexico,
Uh-huh.
and it's like, oh, it's so cheap. I'm like,
Yeah.
there's a reason. I'm like,
Yes.
don't go, and
Yeah.
because September, October is hurricane season, and I remember like people would tell me, oh, we're here out on the beach, and then all of a sudden there's alarms going off, like run inside your hotel.
Yeah.
There's a fucking, and it's just like you know how that is, right?
Yeah.
It's just a matter of minutes before those storms come in, and they'd be running inside, and I'm like, oh no.
I know. That actually happened one year. An ex-boyfriend and I, we lived in Virginia, and he took me to, gosh, where was it? I think it was like North Carolina. He took me somewhere. We went to a Blake Shelton concert for my birthday,
Mhm.
but we're like, oh, no one's swimming on the beach. And we like got in the water, and there's people like, get out of the water, get out of the water. There's sharks, and there was like some big hurricane or something coming in, and the sky was all dark. And I was like, oh, sorry.
And that was in North Carolina.
I think I think it was in Wilmington.
God, it sounds like you've been almost everywhere, right?
Yeah, I've been a lot of
Has it been
places.
planned or just kind of wherever you land,
Yeah.
you're going?
Some of it has been planned, like the Hawaii thing. I decided like I was gonna move to Hawaii 5 days before I got on I like sold my car, packed 2 suitcases, left the rest of my stuff at where I was, and then just got on a plane and left. And I was like, just went for it.
Is all your family still in Lake Tahoe?
No, none of my family. I have an aunt who is still up there. Most of my family is spread out. My brothers, who are twins, are up in Oregon, like Oregon, Washington, like Portland area.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have siblings. My sister is here, well, in like Roseville area, and then a brother who lives in Arkansas.
Okay.
He's an architect for Walmart, and I never understood
Interesting.
that.
Interesting. I was gonna think something else, but
Yeah.
for Walmart, but I guess they
Walmart,
build
that's
so many
where-
places, right?
Yeah, well, that's where the Walmart headquarters is in Bentonville. Is
In
where it is.
Arkansas?
But yeah, I'm like, why are like you're an architect? Like, don't they all look the same? And but yeah, they pay him to do it. So
That's nice.
I know.
That's interesting. Do you ever like dive into details with him and ask him like what's different? And he's just like, no, it's just a job, and it's pretty consistent, right? Everywhere they build
Yeah.
kind of the same thing.
yeah, he's explained it to me before. Like every time he goes to or they open up a new Walmart, he'll go and say like, I think like, okay, you need to put the electrical here or like that kind of thing, but I'm not 100% sure on that either.
No, that's
But-
yeah. I didn't even think about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is when you're an architect. Yeah, you
Mhm.
kind of have to know like everything where the line's supposed to be.
Yeah, like gas
Like
lines.
yes, and
electric-
sewage lines and everything, so
Yeah.
they're not crossing or touching or
Mhm.
whatnot.
So
Wow.
yeah, I think that's what he does more so than like the building structure or design itself. I think he deals with like
making sure
Yeah,
everything's up to
that has
code,
it.
right? Okay,
Hmm.
that makes sense. So you're telling me before you got here that you could you make your own schedule and you can go
Hmm.
in whenever you want. So what are you doing where you can do your own schedule and take a day off if you want?
Yeah.
Sounds like a good job.
Yeah. It's nice. Basically, I was in the restaurant industry for an incredibly long time, almost like 17 years, I think. And it was great money. It was great jobs. I've met a lot of wonderful people in the restaurant industry, and it has allowed me to travel and kind of like have a job wherever I go. But it's just a lot. Like it's a lot of late nights, a lot of, I never got to go out on Fridays with my friends, or I was always working, and that's a busy money shift that you always want. And then I just kind of like I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I started kind of like I don't think I have an official job description for myself even, but I've done like some personal assistant work where I started like cleaning someone's house and I ended up designing their website and like or I've done a lot of website design, photography, and kind of trying to figure out what my what my deal is, like where I want to go with as far as what I want to do. And I've spent a lot of time in my life investing like in other people's dreams. And now I'm at
Not
a point,
focusing on yours.
yeah, where I want to like figure out like, okay, what do I want to do? Because I wanted to like do the EMT thing and I did do it and it was amazing, but it just didn't really pay that well.
Hmm.
And I was like, okay, like now what? I'm over this. Like I'm not making any money and these hours suck. And so yeah, I've kind of like the restaurant industry is so hard when you get into it and you're making like good money, like you're walking with like cash money every night, you're like, it's fine. But it does like tire you out. And I want to get really into I want to start a business. I don't know how to go about this, but I want to start a business doing custom upholstery because I love classic cars. Like I love them. And I don't know. I know how to sew. My mom taught me how to sew when I was really little. So I have a sewing machine and I've been kind of practicing, but I'm like kind of just learning as I go.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I feel like there's really good money in that, but I don't know how
I
hard it
think
is to get into it.
I think that might be a mistake.
Really?
Not sewing, but
Okay.
chasing money.
Oh, yeah. That's
I'm
probably
gonna be
true.
44 in September,
Hmm.
and I've been just like you in the restaurant service industry for like 20 plus years.
Hmm.
We moved here from a small town called Watsonville, Aptos, Watsonville, in the Santa Cruz County area.
I've heard of it.
So
Yeah.
we lived like 5 minutes from the beach,
Oh,
right?
lucky.
Everybody's always calm. Like it was
Uh-huh.
just like kind of a little. I mean, it was overcast and foggy all the time. Like August, September is probably the best time to go because
Yeah.
it's really sunny. But like if and we just ended up here because an uncle had a Mexican meat market in Woodland.
Oh, yeah.
Convinced my dad, and I wasn't gonna come, but it was just kind of like a last minute thing. My parents will speak English. They're originally from Mexico,
Okay. Yeah.
and now I mean the business is there 22 years now, and but
Dang. Yeah.
it's still a challenge because I think
Hmm.
because the name's in Spanish, it's challenging for people that don't speak Spanish
Yeah.
to go in there. So it's
Okay.
still, I mean, people know about it, people don't,
Hmm.
and I'm kind of using this as a platform to help
That's
promote
awesome.
it and grow it.
Yeah.
And I started this like in 2016. I shouldn't have
So
stopped. That was my
cool.
biggest
Oh, yeah.
mistake.
You stopped for COVID.
Just well, yeah,
And
yeah, and
yeah.
but I shouldn't have, because
Yeah.
why? But I mean, the thing was, I was tired. Like we
Hmm.
didn't have any employees.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would cut meat like 6, 7 in the morning, and then at three
Uh-huh.
o'clock I'd go to the register and then close. So I was just
Hmm.
exhausted. Like I had a girl that
Yeah.
was helping me out, and she was kind of doing the news, but I'd be like,
Yeah.
I'm just exhausted. Like
Yeah.
I'd get off, and the last thing, like when you're just tired, you don't have
I
the
get it.
you
Yeah.
don't have the energy, or you don't want to, or I even like force myself to do it, and I remember it'd be like 1 in the morning, and
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, dude, I
It
don't.
sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and it's
I
just
get
it's
that.
no fun, and it's easier like this when
Hmm.
I have someone to talk to, someone
Yeah.
to learn from,
Hmm.
and just get ideas from.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that it's not good to chase money. I had a local artist who was of Mexican descent as well, and he loved drawing, but
Yeah.
he went to Sac State
Uh-huh.
and he tried to learn how to code because that was like the most amount of money
Oh,
that
yeah.
you could make.
It's like a big thing now in social media.
But he could never
Yeah.
grasp it. He
I
said
don't get it either.
he was like so stressed and now he's doing what he's doing, but I think we always compare ourselves to other people and what everybody else is doing instead of just focusing on what we want to do.
Yeah, and like what you're good at, and
Well,
yeah.
sometimes it takes a long time. Sometimes you could be whatever age. I mean, there's people. Who was it? Do you know? Have you ever heard of Primal Kitchen?
Mm-mm.
So they do a lot of like healthy, like mayonnaise, ketchup, barbecue sauces,
Okay.
salad dressings.
Yeah.
A lot of their like base is like avocado oil.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like no preservatives, just simple ingredients in there, and it's a little more expensive, but it's super good. And this guy, I think, was in his 60s. He had I don't know how many
Yeah.
startups, yogurt, all kinds of things that never worked. But in his
Yeah.
60s, it finally worked, and he sold it to like Heinz
Awesome.
Food
Yeah.
for like $70 million.
Shut up.
And,
Really?
and what he said is, you only have to be successful once to succeed. You know, but
Yes,
we're
actually.
always like focusing on other things instead of just
Yeah.
kind of doing one thing and kind of doing it for free.
Mm-hmm.
And not the way I see it is, you got to kind of not don't look at making a lot of money, just kind of live under your means.
Yeah.
You know, like even don't have a car. Who gives it? Like right now, we don't
Yeah.
know what gas is going to be like. How?
Oh, I know. That's not my car. It's a rental. The car that I have, it's a rental.
But no, I mean, it's okay though. It's okay. Like I've been thinking about selling my Prius. A year ago, it was worth 10,000. Right now, because you can't find cars,
Yeah.
it's 20,000. And I'm like thinking, like, should I buy it?
Sell it. Might
And
as well,
look, I don't
but-
know anything about cars. I really don't. But the
Really?
only reason I bought it was when I got the idea of I had a Dodge Ram. I sold it because I was just like, there's no way. And that's
Oh,
when
yeah.
gas was okay, right? It was
Yeah.
like $80 a week.
No, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
And
There's no way you could afford that. It's like, oh.
I mean, you can,
You
but then
can,
you're just gonna, you're kind of putting yourself in a hole, and you can't focus on what you love to do.
Exactly. I know. I was thinking about raising. I was like, when I was still had my car, I was like, I'm gonna have to start charging my clients more because it's costing me like so much money just to drive back and forth. Like, and I was trying to like move my schedule around so that I was doing less driving for gas money, and it was just not fun. It's horrible and I didn't want to tell my clients who've like, I love my clients that I have. So I'm like, I don't want to tell them like, hey, I have to charge you more money so I can pay for gas. Like,
I mean, I know
yeah.
that feeling because it's the same thing with us. Like, we don't know. Like when the pandemic started, because we sell meat, all the restaurants closed and all like the high end cuts. Do you know anything about meat, like ribeyes, New York's, anything?
I mean, I know some, very little.
So like the higher end, like a high steak restaurant or Ruth Chris's, they only sell like high end steaks,
Yeah.
right? So all those, nobody was buying them. And then what
Yeah,
was like
it is.
below that,
Yeah.
what we sold, I think it all went to like $8, and it used to be like $4 or $5 or like $3. Like it would peak like at $4, like I don't know, like May, and then COVID hit, and everything was like $8 or $9. Where it was like maybe we should just sell organic, but it's Marysville, and it's not like Roseville. You can sell organic.
Yeah, and like Granite Bay.
Yeah, yeah,
Those people buy
yeah.
it.
El Dorado Hills, Loomis, all those areas.
Yeah.
Marysville, I think there's only like 5,000 people.
Oh wow.
But we've had people come all the
yeah.
way from Folsom, all the way from Elk Grove, people when they're passing through Chico.
So awesome.
But still, it's a struggle because this area doesn't know what they have or don't understand. And there's other like Mexican meat markets that have like similar names because they're in Spanish. Everyone thinks it's all the same, and it's like,
no. Yeah, you're
it's
like,
not.
it's not.
It's not.
My brother-in-law was born in Mexico in Juarez, and he grew up in El Paso. So I know a little bit of Spanish, but we always go to Chico's Tacos in El Paso. Have you ever been there?
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh, it's so
Is
amazing.
it the best?
Yes.
Chico's. I think I
Chico's
might have heard it.
Tacos.
I think I seen like a gay wrestler on Vice who They have like good crispy
Good.
taco, right?
So yeah, they and my sister remakes like a version of it, but basically it's like chilies, I don't know what kind, but tomato and onion, and you boil it and then blend that, and it's kind of like a soup,
Mm-hmm.
hot soup, and then you have the rolled tacos with cheese on top, and but it's this little tiny taco shack in like El Paso where it's, the city's not like super developed, I guess. It's like a pretty like
But Juarez is right there,
yeah.
right? The border to
Oh
El
yeah.
Paso's right next.
Yeah,
to
my brother-in-law's like, that's Mexico. That's like the bridge that you
Yeah.
go over, and then but yeah, it's beautiful. It's so hot there.
I bet.
I
It's
don't
like 120, 115,
Uh-huh.
right? Yeah.
But I know his mom, I'm like, air conditioning, can you turn the air conditioning on? And his mom's like, no, you're fine. Like,
No AC?
like no, she has AC. She's used to it. So
No, that's crazy. I remember, well,
Mhm.
being from the Santa Cruz area, 85 was hot, right?
Yeah.
No one has AC, so you're like, oh man, it's hot, and it
Yeah.
cools down at night.
Yeah.
And I remember when we came here, it was like August 2000,
Yeah.
and the house that my parents were renting,
Yeah.
it only had a what are those coolers that are in the window?
Swamp coolers.
Is that a swamp cooler? Is
Well,
that the ones that go in the windows?
the coolers, I think those are just like AC units, like the
But it was
small
only in the
ones.
kitchen.
Oh yeah.
That was the only damn thing.
Yeah.
And my buddies would come and visit and be
Uh-huh.
like, dude, this is heat weather.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how anyone's happy because it's so fucking hot.
I know. It's a horrible. I know he's like panting on the ground. He's like, it's so hot. I dump water on just to try and cool it down. He's like, I'm over this.
Hi, Kylo.
I know.
How you
Kylo
doing,
Ren
brother?
is sitting under the table. But yeah, the swamp coolers I think are the big ones outside. But I tried to put one of those smaller like window units. I tried to put one in my garage, just because my bedroom is above my garage, and my garage heats up so much that my bedroom upstairs will not cool down. And so I was like, I'll put a AC in the garage, and I have AC, but it just doesn't work, and it doesn't help at all
Yeah,
to have
I
that thing
know.
in the garage.
Yeah, I would never buy a 2-story house again. That's the worst thing, and because you have to have the AC unit on the top, so it
Uh-huh.
shoots straight down, right?
Yeah.
Because it comes from the bottom and it has to travel all the way up there. That's why it's not.
And then heat rises.
Yeah, and I think it's the same thing in here. It's warm because there is I think the 2 ones here,
Yeah.
but it's not cooling down because
Yeah.
we're upstairs.
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, because in Tahoe, we don't have air conditioning in Tahoe either, like at all. Like none of the houses are equipped with it, I don't think. Or they probably are now, like the newer houses. But like where I grew up, we had a wood burning stove, and no, like we had those wall heaters that you would like turn them on, and it
Mhm.
was just like the one in the wall, but not like a central heating system, I think it's called. So
But the homes are built differently, right? They're like
Yeah.
airtight, like wood, log, or
Mhm.
cabins, or no?
yeah, you'll see like a definitely different like architecture
Mhm.
up there. Everything's a lot more wood, a lot of A-frames, homes where you don't really see that here. But yeah,
I think that keeps all the heat in, right?
Mhm.
So it's not as hot.
I think so. There
Yeah.
has to be a reason behind it. But yeah, there's a lot of homes where like the entire house is like this, the roof, and so it's like an A-frame. So it depends on what room you're in, how high the ceiling is, and it's all angled and stuff.
So have you read any books or anything to kind of help you guide yourself to do what
Oh.
you love to do? Because you're saying,
Books on that.
well, because there's a couple. I mean, if I had them with me and if we'd have talked prior, I would have brought them to you. There's one called Mastery, Robert Greene. There's another one called The War of Art,
Okay.
Stephen Pressfield. He was an author. I think he was like in his 38, 39.
Yeah.
When he started writing, he just talks about resistance, right? Like we all have resistance of like procrastinating, right?
Yes.
Even when I started, because when I started the podcast in 2016,
Mhm.
I'd have a wall with calendars, and all of my interviews were via Zoom or Skype.
Oh yeah. 'Cause-
And because I wanted to travel to them, but it's
Oh.
impossible. It's impossible, right? And I mean, it was kind of the same format in Northern California.
yeah.
And what I did, I think I took like 3 or 4 months, and I got like 30 interviews, and then I was going to release one every couple days, and then keep trying. And it was just so hard because people were like, I'm not interesting. I don't know why you want to talk to
I
me.
know. I said that. I'm like, why do you want? I don't have like a company or anything, you know.
No, but you
Yeah.
don't need a company. I think It's like you have kind of like a video audio journal. This is like your
Uh-huh.
first page. This is how I
Oh,
see it for
cool.
you,
Yeah.
right? This is your first page of your
Hmm.
book.
Okay.
And you can look at it a couple months down the road, or you see
Yeah.
something that you don't like about yourself, whatever, maybe
Yeah.
that you're not doing something that you want to be doing.
Hmm.
And then you go, well, you know what, next time I'm on, I
Yeah.
want to be doing this, or I'm already starting my
Yeah.
leather works or my
Hmm.
upholstery, like you were saying.
Hmm.
I think I saw a documentary on who's the real expensive handbags that women.
Like Louis Vuitton
Louis
or
Vuitton.
something like that. Yeah,
Eh,
Chanel. But Louis Vuitton,
Do you know
like, it's a
this
big
the
one.
backstory on Louis Vuitton?
Uh-uh.
I think it was like a poor person that it was just like making
Okay.
leather luggage. Like they didn't think about it was going to become
Yeah.
like that. But
That's
there's a lot of
awful.
stories like that where
That's so cool.
they fail so many times.
Yeah.
Like even like the whole business evaporates and they have to like rebuild it and
Yeah, I
keep
feel
doing
you.
it. And but if you, I think as long as you love what you're doing,
Yeah.
then it's never a job, right?
I really like sewing, but I like the design of it all and like picking out the colors. And I love fabric. I have way too much fabric for no reason. I'll like see something and I'll be like, oh, that would be perfect for this or that. Or I just like, I have all kinds of different fabric, but I
Do
do
you
love it.
where do you kind of get inspiration? Is there any
Um,
meditating, walks out in nature?
Sometimes but a lot of people, it's mostly from other people. Like I have this neighbor who lives in the apartments like next door to where I live, but we met at the dog park with the dogs, and he's a super chilled, like nice kid, but he was talking about, oh yeah, my grandfather passed away and I inherited this car, and it's a really cool it's I forget what year. I think it's like a 96 Crown Victoria, and it's an old cop car, and it has all the original like radio, the cage back, and I like see the cop car. I'm like, ooh, like, but it has the lights and sirens, and I was like, that would be so dope to like restore it. And then I was flipping through Pinterest, and I was like, saw this old. It was a Crown Victoria, but it was like from the 50s, and I was like, it'd be so cool to put this like it was kind of like a specific like stripe emblem on the side of the car.
Hmm.
And I was like, you could pay tribute to like the older version of the Crown Victoria. And there was like a really cool car that I love the colors. I'm like, we should totally do something like this for like the seats. And yeah, so it was and he was like, yeah, that's awesome. And I was like,
Have you
cool.
started doing any kind of work on that yet?
I got the fabric, but I
Okay.
haven't. I've like kind of started sewing. So I'm still figuring out what, because like sewing is difficult in the sense of like you have to make sure you have the correct needle and the correct thread, and like it's there's a lot of details that go into it that I'm sure a lot of people don't realize. And so I've been kind of trying to figure out, because you have to sew when you're sewing like the stitching into seats, and to make it like look good, it goes on top of foam. But that's a lot. That's like a lot of material to go through a sewing machine and come out looking perfect like that. So I need a better sewing machine, really, but like a bigger one.
What's like the best sewing machine out there? Do you know?
Um
Is there
I
certain
have no
brands? Is there
idea.
no?
There's a couple. I've always been partial to Singer because that's just what I learned on, and my mother like loves Singer sewing machines. So I've been partial. Like I know how to use a Singer. I have a brother's sewing machine, but I never use it. And then, but mine is just for like it's a small Singer, so it's not like a big heavy duty one that can handle like the really thick materials. And I do it anyways, but I'm probably not supposed to for the sewing machine. So, but that's okay.
Have you watched YouTube videos on
Yes.
that?
I've
Yes.
watched a lot of YouTube videos. Like I know all the basics of sewing, but I didn't know like the like when you look at a car seat, at least I figured it was just like stitching sewn into fabric and then put on the car seat, but it's actually sewn onto the foam first, and then that goes on more foam, and then so on and so forth.
No, it sounds interesting.
But
I don't know anything about it. Have you thought about working for like somebody who does upholstery?
I would be so open to even like interning, or I'm like, can I just follow you around for the day? But I don't know anyone who does it.
No,
I
there's
know a lot
no.
of people in cars like who do repairs and pinstriping and paint jobs, or like I know a lot of people who are in the industry. I have these guys that own Pacific Audio down in Citrus Heights, I guess it is, but they do speakers and audio, and no one that I know does the upholstery though. I'm sure they do know someone. I haven't asked them yet, but
Have you ever sewn something for Kylo Ren over here?
oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
I found I found a Star Wars baby onesie for like a kid, and I was like, yeah, he's gonna have to wear this, and I'm gonna make it like a dog vest thing. And I did, and he
You
loves
wear it?
it. He loves getting dressed up. It's really funny. So
He needs his own Instagram with all his
yeah,
outfits. How many
I
outfits does he
know.
have?
He only has a couple
Yeah.
because like he has that vest which he wears like all the time, but he has a skeleton outfit for Halloween and it's so cute. And he loves it.
Did you plan one out for him for this Halloween?
No, I haven't gotten there yet. I need to because that's coming out. It will come up before I realize it. But no, I haven't thought about it. So
Yeah, you'd be surprised how just like the simplest thing that you do, if you just, I know, you know what, honestly, I hate social media because it's just so much work.
it's intimidating. It's a
It's,
lot to keep up with. I'm
it
like,
is, right?
gosh, I can't. Like, yeah, these kids are making it like their career to be on
But
Instagram.
that's all they've
And I'm
been
like,
doing from the beginning, though. You know,
true.
that's why, like, to me, I was like, who the fuck are all these people? Like, because, like, I try to cover news when I don't have guests and
Oh
try to give
yeah.
a funny take on just because there's always all kinds of crazy shit going
Oh, I
on, right?
know.
Some stuff you don't believe it. Like, there's no way that I'm like, yeah,
Mhm.
guess what city? And then people are like,
Oh yeah, I always see those on your Instagram. I'm like, wait, what is that? Like there was the catalyst converter thing the other day. I was like, what is that? Isn't that for a car?
yeah, well,
I
I don't know
didn't.
about in your area, but here,
Mhm.
Reading, like all the like Central Valley towns are
Mhm.
always stealing Cadillac converters.
Oh.
And well, because they have precious metals, they have like platinum
Oh,
and
okay.
iridium and all the stuff that like it's.
Hmm.
I think they melt them down.
Like when people stole copper wiring,
Yeah,
wasn't that like a thing, or
I
copper
think
piping?
now it's this though
I
because,
think.
but I think they're passing laws now that whoever is like buying it
Hmm.
because they have to, whoever buys it has to
Yeah,
melt it down.
yeah.
Even like the girl that was helping me like in 2020, she had a Prius and they
Hmm.
stole their catalytic converter. And I was all nervous about mine too, but I think because mine is so low and it kind of doesn't look like a Prius,
Yeah,
because you know how the Prius have like a squared shape.
yeah,
It looks like
yeah.
it does. Maybe that's what's keeping me lucky, and
You're
because
like,
it's really
yeah.
low to the ground, so you have to lift it up. And I always think
Mhm.
if I ever see that fucking thing, I'm just gonna push the car on top of them. Like I don't
Yeah.
give a shit. Don't be doing
No.
that shit.
Yeah, that's oh my gosh, that's crazy. So what does the catalytic converter do for the car? Like what is its
That is,
function?
you know what? I know nothing about
You don't
cars. No,
know.
but
That's like that.
because there's a local sushi place here in Yuba City, Kenzo's,
Uh-huh.
and it's like an hour away, always
Oh
like
yeah.
to go
For
sit
good
down. It's
sushi.
always packed,
Hmm.
always. And I ordered online. We close at 7.
Yeah.
Ordered like at 6:30. It's like 7:30,
Hmm.
and I get to the place. And I start watching like these documentaries on YouTube, and they're
Hmm.
talking about the guy who invented Honda.
Fun. Oh, okay.
And this is like early 1900s, right?
Okay.
And I think he, as a kid, he sees like a Ford Model T driving,
Uh-huh.
and he's just like infatuated. Like,
That's how I
what
feel about
is that?
cars.
Like, how does it move, right?
Uh-huh.
Just so, like, he's like 8 or 9 or something.
It's crazy.
So then when he's 16, he writes a letter to this auto shop that's like I guess he lived in the rural part of Japan.
Hmm.
And the shop replied back and was like, yeah, we have a job for you. Come on in.
Hmm.
And he gets there and he's babysitting like a toddler. He has a toddler on his, so
Yeah.
he's just doing that.
Yeah.
And then finally, like, he's ready to give up. And then, like, 10 months in, the shop gets crazy busy, and the shop owner has no choice but to train
Yeah.
this 16-year-old kid.
That's a
And
cool
then when
story.
he turns 21, he opens his own shop as an
Uh-huh.
extension of them. And I think he starts racing cars, starts building them, figures out all the pistons.
Yeah.
And he's the first one, or his company, who invented the Cadillac converter,
Okay.
or catalyst converter. I
Catalyst. I
forget,
know,
I
we're
forget
like
what they're called. And
calling
I had
it.
no idea what they were for.
Yeah.
And because Japan, because of war and stuff, there was limited gasoline.
Oh,
So
okay.
he had to figure out how to have a car that would run consistently
Yeah.
and would not use gas and
Okay.
would also lower emissions or pollutants in there. And this is like
Yeah.
1940,
Before they
50.
figured it out. Yeah.
And yeah, he was,
Crazy.
I know, and I had no idea. And I've never like, I had a Honda, but I never like was really a fan of them until like you start
Mhm.
realizing like since
Yeah.
the recession and there was like there's been points in history where you couldn't use gas, there'd be gas
Oh my
shortages
gosh. Yeah.
and all that stuff is like interesting. Like I remember somebody saying, yeah, I can buy a Honda for $500 and fix
Hmm.
it up for like 3,000, and now I have like basically a new car for
Yeah.
$3,000, and those things
Gee.
run like
Hmm.
300,000 miles or what.
Yeah. That's crazy. I keep trying to think of, my neighbor has a car and he's let me borrow it before. And he's like, don't park it on the street because someone will steal it. I'm like, it's not even a cool car. I mean, no offense, London, but
That's hilarious.
I mean, it's just to me, it's just a basic car. It's like a four-door, like regular car, and I don't understand what's so. It's not like when I think it's like stealing a car, you're gonna steal like a Cadillac, or a Impala, or like some classic car that's like worth a lot of money.
Really?
But he was explaining something to me about how the year that his car was made in 2006, like there's something special about that year of car because it's like a Honda or something basic, and saying that they don't make whatever is special about his car, they don't make it anymore. And I was like, oh, okay.
I know. Honestly, I like cars, but it's just I'm so focused on work and working. And I
Yeah.
also have a 9-year-old daughter I share
Oh,
custody of,
that's so cute.
and it's hard to balance all that out,
Yeah,
right?
for
And like
sure.
recently, in the past month, like she usually stays with me Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, sometimes
Yeah.
Saturday morning.
Yeah.
But recently, she's been like missing her mom, texts her all the time, and
Mm-hmm.
gets like separation anxiety. But it makes no sense
Yeah.
because she was never like that. But just
That's
recently she was
normal.
having a lot, and I think it has to do with like the YouTube channel because
Yeah.
the guy that lets me use the studio, he has Topless Talk, and
So,
it's about sex and
oh, okay. Yeah.
relationships. And he was a Mormon. He's my age, was
Yeah.
married. It was only with one girl, so
Okay.
it just it completely changed his opinion on everything,
Yeah.
right? So he's exploring
Okay.
that whole thing.
Uh-huh.
And
It's called topless talk.
Topless Talk,
Do
yeah.
people come in here topless or something? I'm like,
Well,
I mean,
actually, the
hey.
reason this banner is up is
Uh-huh.
there's a bunch of Polaroids with.
Oh,
You
gotcha.
could kind of
Look at
pull
that.
it forward and see.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't even look back there.
Yeah, no, I mean a lot of
Kylo,
people don't.
let's see the
Eventually,
best
I'm gonna
one.
have curtains in here
Yeah.
just to cover up the soundboards, and then
Yeah.
you don't know who can get offended by that.
Yeah.
And
That's
to me,
true.
it's just anybody. There's women
Yeah.
and whatnot. And he doesn't do it just to get women naked.
No,
To
yeah.
him, it's just like to
Yeah.
be able to talk about whatever. Because there's like a local couple who was in a polygamous marriage,
Is
polygamy.
that the like multiple wives type deal, or is that where
So
it's
no,
open?
it's open.
Okay.
So the wife was kind of, they were married for like 15 years, and she
Yeah.
was like, so this is it. There's
This
no more new first kiss, no
is it.
new.
Yeah.
And that's how they opened their relationship. And he was
Okay.
talking about how hard it was for him because his
Yeah.
mind's just thinking of like, how many
Uh-huh.
dicks is she sucking? How many guys is
Oh
she?
my God. Yeah.
But
That
if
would
it,
be rough.
but it's okay now for him. Like they even
Mhm.
like spend Christmas together and stuff, like the boyfriend and the wife,
Oh.
and it's interesting
Yeah.
because no one ever like thinks of that area because
Yeah.
sometimes we're so possessive, right, of
Hmm.
our love for someone that it should be
Yeah.
a certain way. But it's interesting. Everything that they talk about, like
I bet it's
it's
super.
completely different. Yeah.
It's hard too because, like, when you're raised, I do love psychology and I love learning about psychology. And I don't think I could ever be or should be allowed to be a therapist, but they like talk about just a lot of like our core values, and like basically you don't get to choose what your core values are. You're raised to believe certain things, and you can like actively say, okay, my parents raised me this way, and this is not okay, like regarding race or religion or views on sex or all that stuff. But like deep down inside of you somewhere, like you'll still subconsciously think it's wrong or like that type of thing where you actually change your like core values of, like I was raised with a mom and a dad and they were married and we sometimes went to church and my mom wasn't big on organized religion, but it wasn't like polygamous, I should say, at all. But it's like, so in my head, I'm like, I have some more kind of conservative views towards it. Not always, but yeah, I don't know if I could do like an open relationship. I'd be like I would just feel, I don't know how I'd feel about it. I've never
To me, I think
been presented with that.
it makes sense for that couple because I think they got
Yeah.
married really young,
Mhm.
and so it kind of becomes like a routine, like the same thing over and over and over.
Yeah, they're just
So
bored.
she's the one that wanted it. He didn't want to do it, right? But he was just like he had to deal with his own demons, his own thoughts and whatnot. And I think slowly, I'm not saying everybody, but I think
Yeah.
society's just changing because of the internet, and you see so
Oh,
many things out there.
crazy.
I honestly, Joe Rogan saved my life
Everyone
because
talks about him, Joe
you know
Rogan.
why? Because he doesn't care what the subject is, and he's always been in Hollywood.
Okay.
So he lived there, and he was like, everyone's so fake, no one's real. Everyone who wants
That's
to
how
be
I
an
feel.
everyone who wants to be an actress or an actor, they want to get something from you,
Yep.
and it's just like
They
he
have
didn't
more.
like none of that. And he's
Yeah.
like, why do you have to kiss everybody's ass and have to be, but that's the only way you can get a job or be an actor.
Yeah. I mean, I would imagine so. That's horrible. I feel like that about everyone. I'm like, these people like work so hard to like
Present something, right?
present a fake image that it's not even for you. It's for like other people. And what does that do for you? Like, who gives a fuck what anyone thinks? Like, people, I'm sure, have a lot of opinions about my choices and my lifestyle, but I don't care. Like, I don't know, like, if that's a
I'm
good thing or a
positive.
bad thing.
I'm positive a lot of people are jealous. Like,
Yeah.
I dated a girl who, before she got married and everything, she was from Grass Valley, and she fucking lived in Africa, Argentina, like
Oh,
just
yeah.
like the stuff that you're
So
telling me, and I'm like,
cool.
dude, that scares me. To me, it's
Yeah.
like fuck, like I can go to
Yeah.
Mexico and stuff and kind of blend in, right? And I've thought about it, like being out there for like a month or 2 months and
Yeah.
just kind of, because it's not expensive, and just
Yeah.
be able to live that life. And just, I remember one time when I was married with my ex-wife, her family's from a certain part of Jalisco. I'm from Jalisco too, but I don't
Okay.
know that it's more of a rural town, right?
Yeah.
And hers is more like a central city called Guadalajara.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And so it's nice. Like I liked that
Yeah.
it was just there's more things, right?
Action.
Things to
Yeah.
do, right? And she had a bunch of her friends there. There was another couple who the husband had what's it called when it's like a share, right? Timeshare. Yeah. He had timeshares, right? And he had
Okay.
some left over, and he's like, hey, we can rent a car and drive to Puerto Vallarta. I don't know how far it was. It wasn't that
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
But still, to me, because you hear of everything that's going on with drug cartels and everything, I'm
Oh,
just
yeah.
like scared. Like, but
I
this
know.
guy, he didn't give a shit. He's not even from there, and
He's
he's
like,
like passing cars. But I remember such a beautiful drive, like
Yeah.
into this mountaintop and then into the jungle, and it was just beautiful. And I
cool.
never realized, like, dude,
Yeah.
it's so beautiful and different out here. Like, I should fucking come out here for. I haven't done it, but
You should.
you're doing that. You know,
Yeah,
you
to
don't
do
like
that.
you said. I'm not interesting. I don't have anything.
Like,
But it's not. But it's not about money though. It's
Yeah.
this life is just a short journey. And
yeah.
how many
It
people
is.
get trapped? Like,
Oh my gosh, that's what I was so terrified of that. It was bad. I was like, that's kind of why I am the way I am. And sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, go ahead.
I had a high school sweetheart. He was an amazing guy. He still is. Like, his family's amazing. I have nothing but love for him. But he had joined the military and then was like, proposed to me at 17. And I looked at like, all these other military wives with like super young girls with 2 kids. And I was like, God, no. Like, I want to go see the world. And I like, I loved him, but I was like, no, like, I'm not going to be some like young mom military wife. Like, I need to like go live my life. And to this day, I still don't want kids. And everyone's like, you'll want them eventually. I'm like, no, I have nieces and nephews and they're cute. And that's all I need. Like,
There's so much work. They are so much work. Like the first 2 years.
Being a mom.
I remember when we brought my daughter home from the hospital, so her mom could recover.
Yeah.
I stayed with the baby. I don't know if you know what SIDS is.
I do, yeah. On the ambulance.
So I was like super scared of that. So I would stay up with the baby from 8 at night till 8 in the morning every day.
Yeah.
For like 3 months. And
to make sure.
Eventually I couldn't do it just because her family would keep coming over like at 10 or I'm all to wake them up. I'm like, what do you mean? I fucking haven't slept. Like I just started going crazy not sleeping and trying to sleep in the day. Like it was tough. And you know, we would write down when the baby would poop. Like we were like on top of it.
You guys were like on it.
But it was all kinds of work, right? And I go, dude, this is so stressful. How do people fucking do this? You know? And imagine multiple kids.
Oh my
right?
God.
Like back to back to back. Like but it also it's gonna sidetrack you with you're able to go out and even though you say I want to make money, I think everyone wants to do that, but it's also a trap.
I just don't want to have to worry about money.
I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
I just want to, I want to do something I love, but I don't want to like be struggling for the rest of my life. Like, cause it's a lot of work and to pay rent, especially in California. Rent's so expensive.
Have you thought about leaving California?
No, not recently, just because I already have. Like, I've been all over, and I like it here. And as long as I can find a way to live here, I don't want to leave. I like California, but what you were saying about your daughter, my brother, when he had a baby, I went to go visit, and I think she was 4 months old, and that little girl, she was so cute. But she slept for like 20 minutes at a fucking time. And I was like, how? Like, your daughter, she doesn't sleep. Don't kids normally sleep for like chunks of hours? And he's like, no, that's just how she is. I was like, how do you do this? Like, it was bad. But that's when I decided, I'm like, I probably don't want kids.
That's good. I
like being selfish.
But there's things like that people don't understand. Even when I was going through my divorce, I was like super scared to traumatize my daughter.
Yeah.
And there was this other guy I worked with because I worked at Thunder Valley Casino for like 7 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was just there for a concert.
Yeah. Who was playing?
Boys to Men. I was there against my own will. Yeah.
Bunch of your girlfriends want to go watch Boys to Men?
Yeah, pretty much. I was like,
how was the crowd? Was it pretty?
It was fine. It was mellow. It was like, I was like, this is like the slow dance shit we had in middle school.
Was it just Boys to Men? What other 90s R&B groups were there?
There was other ones. I can't even tell you what their names were. It was nothing I listened to.
How old are you, Shawn?
I'm 33.
Okay, because I was going to say that's like my time when I was like in junior high. I remember all those.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That
is too funny. But when I was at Thunder Valley, there's this other butcher, and he had like 4 kids, I believe.
Oh my gosh.
And we're talking about just parenting. He's like, look, man, you could still be a good dad. You don't be in a relationship if it's not going to work. And I thought about it and I go, what if she just sees us fighting all the time?
Yeah, I think that's
probably the worst, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was able to go ahead and go through a divorce, and I thought that was difficult, but there's always different challenging things in your life that you always think are the worst possible things that can happen in your life. And there's always,
you're like, oh God.
No, I know.
Yeah.
And but that's kind of like what podcasts help me with is listening to people having honest conversations, like what we're having right now, right?
I know none of this is planned. Like we didn't.
But that's the best thing is like how many times I've had instances where I'm talking to like customers and we're like talking and we have things to talk about, but I can't because there's a customer behind you.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
It's like, oh dude, I gotta help the next person. But I just love conversation and learning things from other people because everybody has something to give. Everybody has something to
Teach you.
to teach you. Yeah, everybody's a teacher, good or bad, depending how you use it. You know, how you take advantage of that
Oh, yeah.
information that person gives you.
You would have been a great bartender. I can tell you that because that's where I think I get my
So you were
talking
you were a
skills.
bartender for a
Oh,
long
yeah.
time.
I was a bartender for like 10 years, but yeah, that's like the like main thing I always tell like people, just like anyone who I give advice to, which I mean I do, but I don't often because I'm figuring it out as I go. I'm like, I don't know, I'm not qualified to give you advice, but I always say to always remain teachable. That's such a big thing because like if you know everything, then what are you going to learn if you think you know everything? But you won't learn anything. And if you're always teachable, like you're always willing to learn, you'll grow that much more as a person. And so it's big. It's like you always have to like take what you can. And I have a really good girlfriend who like even when stuff is like so like just not good or like she should be really pissed off, she'll be like, I appreciate the experience, like, and it's like that person screwed you over, like I'll go kick their ass, and she's like, I appreciate what they taught me. And I'm like, you're too nice. But she does have a really good point on the way she looks at things, and it's kind of like the silver lining type of thing. She always looks for the silver lining, so I think it's amazing. She's a bigger person than I am. But
No, but that's good to have people like that around us, you know, because
yeah,
I have like a short fuse and I'm always getting mad. Just not. I just I'm very respectful to everybody regardless, you know, but when people are like jerks or negative energy and shit, it's just like, nah, dude, I'm gonna fucking I'm gonna give you back what you're giving me.
Yeah, smack you around a little bit.
But no, I don't. But it's just like, but people have to learn to kind of have some kind of manners and just be humble. I mean, be civil.
Be civil, yeah.
Right, because some people think they see me at the business, or oh, you're the owner.
Yeah.
Or they're looking for something to complain about, or like today I was listening to Rogan. And they're talking about In-N-Out burgers, right? They take an hour, right? And why is it so fucking good? Because they only concentrate on one thing. Yeah. But you go to McDonald's and that fucking cheeseburger's in your hand before you even, I know, how is that? Like something's wrong there, you know? And everything that's of quality or worth anything is going to take fucking time.
Yep.
And people want
they want good quality for cheap right now, and it's like no.
People want convenience.
Yeah.
Right. The people want something fast and cheap. So who cares where it came from? Who cares? You know how?
But then they want it to be good, and that's not how life works. I have such a funny story about In-N-Out for him.
Tell me.
Kylo Ren. I used to take him, like when I got him as a rescue, and I was like, he's my baby, and we get puppuccinos all the time. This dog is so spoiled. But I took him to In-N-Out all the time. Down the road, we figured out he had a food allergy. He kept getting ear infections, and I learned that it was from a food allergy after spending thousands of dollars at the vet. But he's allergic to like meats and meat filler. And so we used to go to In-N-Out and get cheeseburgers. Well, I wanted to go to In-N-Out. And so I got him a grilled cheese, and he spit it out and like would not look at me. Instead, he like looked at the window and would not look at me the whole
Maybe
way
the
home.
Cheese?
No, he loves cheese. He was mad that I didn't give him a cheeseburger just because he's a brat. That's how he got his name. He throws temper tantrums like.
So what was the other food that was giving him an ear infection?
It was the meat.
From In-N-Out though?
No, not just from In-N-Out. It's he's allergic to beef, and I haven't had problems with like chicken and pork, but he's allergic to salami and hot dogs and lunch meat, and I think it's meat that has fillers and then beef.
Okay, so
as far as I know.
So you're talking about deli meats and stuff which are packed with preservatives and nitrates.
I think it could be that.
So it doesn't go bad and then it has a longer shelf life. They put a bunch of stuff in it. Yeah. Well, some of it not really. Like because I've been in the meat industry. You can make hot dogs with celery powder, and it's considered a nitrate because it's a preservative. But I know that probably all that other shit that they put in it, it's probably worse because I was surprised. I was gonna be like In-N-Out, like because they honestly use real meat.
Yeah, that's why I took them there.
They have a headquarters, I think, in Manteca.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever like driven past somewhere. I don't know if it's. I think it's Manteca.
I have no
They have
idea.
like Ghirardelli warehouse or something. I don't know if it's Highway
Okay.
5.
Oh, yeah.
I
I don't
think
know where it is, but I know kind of like what you're talking about.
because I remember I was looking for a job and they were hiring butchers. I was like, what the fuck? In-N-Out has real butchers. So that makes 100% sense why it's good because
Yeah.
I tell everyone this story. So this one butcher I used to work with at Thunder Valley Casino worked for like a meat processing plant here in Marysville. I used to exist here for years and years before I got here. And he would be on a bandsaw all day cutting steaks, making sure that they were the exact ounce, right?
Yeah.
So do you know what a bandsaw is?
I
Like where
do for wood, but like, yeah,
so
it's
for
the,
meat, and you get
yeah.
you get all the dust inside and on the parts. So with meat, you're gonna get the same thing everywhere, right? On the floor, on the slicer.
Yeah.
What do you think they did with all that?
Oh, they probably make it into more meat.
Make
Like
hamburgers out of
a
it.
hamburgers.
They would pass it through a conveyor belt, spray it with like some kind of chemical.
To like sanitize it
Yeah,
or something.
and then
Yeah.
press the shit out of it. And McDonald's was the one that would buy all of that, and he was like
makes sense.
100%. And I was like,
You're like, now that I know that, I don't want to eat there anymore.
no, but I get sick now. Like, there's no way. As a kid, I could eat Taco Bell. Like, as a teenager, right? No issues. I remember eating Taco Bell one time, and my stomach got so bloated, and I was like, I'm never eating here. But all those, like McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, all those have, and only In-N-Out has actually real meat.
Real meat. Well, that's kind of how I figured out that it wasn't just like the meat filler. He's actually, I think, allergic to certain types of meat. And the vet said that that's possible, that he could be allergic to like pork and beef and not chicken. And so who knows? He's just a brat.
That's funny what you were saying. The $1,000 at the vet. I remember that too because I had a little Pomeranian poodle. He would, he would get like pink skin and all this stuff, and I was like, no, I think as long as you walk them and you give them pretty decent food.
Yeah.
But the vets, they don't say he has this. It's like we got to give him a test, and then we got to give him this. And I was like, fuck this, dude. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pay all that shit. Like,
I paid extra money to take him to the special like dermatology because at one point they were worried that maybe he had either like a foreign body in his middle ear or because it was just reoccurring unilateral, which is on one side, ear infections. And he would sometimes they would ooze. And I was like, did he rupture his eardrum? And they were like, no. And so I was worried that it was something more that was like, maybe he got like a foxtail lodged in there or something, but it wasn't that. They think it was a birth defect, possibly, because he kind of walks funny sometimes. Not always, but.
Now that could be something with the ear, right?
Something.
What's it called? When you kind of get dizzy from your ear.
Vertigo. Yeah. And he does that sometimes too. Like if he gets like really overheated, his eyes will like dart back and forth. And, but the vet said that it's the food allergies because I figured out his neck would swell up when I gave him salami.
Oh,
and I was like, oh, poor guy. But he gets lots of cheese. So he likes cheese and peanut butter.
Yeah. How long have you had Kylo Ren?
Since March of 2019.
Okay, so
I got him at Bradshaw in like Sacramento, I guess.
Nice.
I know I went in there and for a different dog, and then I asked them the dog I wanted or I had gone in there to see wasn't there, and they asked me if I wanted to look at any other dogs, and I said I want to look at the one that you don't think will get adopted because I didn't have kids. I was able to take a dog. Like I understand people who don't want to take a dog home who could potentially be aggressive and hurt one of their children. Like that's completely makes perfect sense. But I don't have kids. And so I wanted to give a dog a chance that maybe no one else could have. And I got him and he has been like the best dog I've ever had. He's so good. I love him. He's just expensive. But he sleeps in my bed and he's just such a brat.
So since you're a bartender, you have to have stories over stories of things. I'll give you one of my in my drunk drunk days when I was single and I lived in Natomas.
Okay.
So my roommate is Cambodian and
That's interesting.
big time gambler.
Okay.
If you're a bartender, where would you bartend at? Any like big areas in like downtown Sacramento or anywhere?
In the Sacramento area, I worked in Rockland at the Pink Martini. I
Okay.
was there for almost 2 years or 2 years, and I was their bar manager. But in this area, I haven't been a bartender anywhere
No,
else.
okay. I was gonna say you probably know him. His name's Casal.
I don't know him.
He's like, you don't know what he is because he looks like he's Pacific Islander.
Okay.
He's like really dark skinned, but he's not. He's Cambodian. Like you would never.
You're like, are you?
I remember the first time, not to be a dick to him or anything, but the first time I heard him talking his language, I was dying laughing.
Oh, really?
Like,
I don't even know what it sounds like.
I know. It sounds like blowing and whistling and.
Oh, really?
Like, what the fuck?
Wow.
I was dying laughing.
Yeah.
Hey, my apologies, people out there who's Cambodian. I love Cambodian food, but it was just the funniest thing. And because we both lived in the Thomas, and he had this like Tahoe with nice rims and everything.
Okay.
And I think when he woke up in the morning, his car was on milk crates.
Oh yeah.
He could not believe it. And so I had to drive him into town and stuff. And I heard him calling his parents. And I was like trying to be serious, like feeling bad for him. But I wanted to laugh so hard. Yeah. And because if you're a bartender, he's like older than me, but he doesn't age or anything. He looks like he's in his 30s or 20s. I hate
that. That's my friend Ray.
Yeah.
He's Puerto Rican.
And so he's a big time gambler, right? And I would see him too, like go to the casino and like $3,000 and then go downtown or somewhere, go drinking. And I think we went twice that day to the casino. I think we went before we went out, and then the bars closed like at 2 a.m. and we went back to Thunder Valley Casino. And he's gambling and there's 3 of us. And he wasn't drunk, but me and this other guy were pretty drunk.
Yeah.
And we went into the bathroom. And I noticed that my buddy went to the first standing stall right there. And then there was a closed like bathroom area, right? And I knew I'm going to fuck with this guy. So I went into like where it's a toilet, right? And I start like peeing towards his feet because his feet were facing, and he had no idea it was me.
Yeah.
He had no. So
funny.
He starts peeing that way as well. And there's the people who clean the casino saw him. And he's like, "Hey, what are you doing? Don't be doing that." he gets yelled at, right? Like, and he's like, "Hey, that fucking guy started it first." And I'm like fucking in there holding my mouth, just laughing so hard. Like, but he has no idea. And I let him leave and everything. Like, there's a big old commotion, like, right? And I'm just like hiding in there, like holding my fucking mouth, trying not to laugh, right?
Yeah.
So I let like everyone leave, and then I come out and I see they're called porters, the ones who clean like the bathroom and pick up garbage and everything.
Yeah.
And he's talking to the security guards in the casino and he's pointing at them. And I'm
guy, 86.
I'm like, "Hey, what happened, dude?" He's all, "Dude, some fucking guy was trying to fucking piss on my shoes." And I was like, "You fucking idiot."
You're like, what an asshole.
I'm all, "Hey, it was me, you fucking idiot. Why? You should have said, 'Oh, sorry, I just missed my stepping or footing or something,' right?" And then our other buddy who's gambling is like, "Hey, what the fuck's going on?" Because you have like 10 security guys coming towards him. And he's like trying to explain himself. "Hey, some guy was trying to..." I'm like, "Dude, it's fucking me. Why are you still saying that story?"
Oh my God. That's
but we got kicked out. But because my other buddy was a high roller, they gave us like breakfast and stuff to go home. But it's just, there's so many stories like that. So you're a bartender.
Oh my gosh.
What's one of the most because it's always stupid fights that like they miss people or they pull people's shirts. Like I was a bouncer too in Santa Cruz, so I have so many stories of.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. The stories as a bartender, I mean, there's been times like the Pink Martini, I will not speak on their behalf, but I love listening to Kyle. But we were like the second time they like shut down, and then they kind of opened for COVID or because of COVID, and then the cities or state or whatever shut down again, and then it was like so back and forth, and there was a point in time when everyone was kind of like we'd go to the nail salon, and they would garbage bags over the window, tape them up, and then we'd get our nails done. Like
Really?
even though we weren't supposed to, but it was I don't really know, but like it was kind of like where we weren't supposed to have people inside, but people would just get drunk and come inside anyways. And there was this one kid who we all knew.
Wait, people were just supposed to pick up drinks and go home, or
well,
you had to sell food, right? That was that.
Yeah, we did do the to-go drinks for a while, but there was a point in time when I think because Pink Martini has outdoor seating, and so they could go outside, and we would serve them outside, and they just weren't supposed to like loiter indoors because whatever, it was stupid. But we had a birthday party for a regular, like he was, we knew him, and it was supposed to be like 50 people, and it was kind of like hush hush, like, oh, it's not gonna
inside?
50 people, no, outside. It was, we were trying to follow the rules somewhat, but it ended up being like 150 people, and people like we were bartending, and I was like, you got to take your shots and go, like you can't stand in here, and everyone was just drunk, nobody was listening to me, and it was kind of just like whatever, like I give up. But it was so stressful, and that was, I mean, I guess it's not a funny story.
No, it is, because
like,
I remember that time we shut down because we have an eating area. We shut that down for 2 years. We barely opened it in March.
God, I know, they were like so strict, and we put like stickers on the floor of where people were supposed to stand, but people get drunk, and everyone's been locked up. They're like, fuck you, like no one would listen to